Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 193. And I am Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of NoDQ, of course, Aaron Rift. Colin the Cleaver Andrew is finally back. Josh Mansfield has made his return. And, of course, a blabbermouth, Jeff Meacham. And I say that in a good way, Jeff.
Cheers, brother. I love it.
What's up, Jeff?
Good to be here. Had a good afternoon with the Greg Cherry brand doing the Jack of All Trades show, and now I'm back on the mothership, if you will. It's good. It's a good Thursday.
Do you think that Vince McMahon's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night and say something stupid?
How far are we into the show? I give a shit if Vince is on SmackDown tomorrow, honestly.
I think he might keep doing this to let everybody know he's still there. Josh,
I'm just
what's
going
going
to
on?
the show.
So. Not much, brother, not much. I just got over being sick yesterday, so I am back, and I'm doing good. Doing good.
All right. Well, we got plenty to talk about, of course. Colin, what's going on, man?
What's up, dude? It's been a long time.
How about that Riddle and Reigns match popping a number? Hour 2 drawing more than Vince McMahon's hour 1 of SmackDown.
I mean, you know, it's showmanship of who's really on top in the company. You know what I mean?
It was a good match.
Numbers don't lie.
Yep.
You know, we knew what the outcome was going to be. I didn't expect Brock, but you know, still it was a good match, and it was a good number. You know what I'm saying? A real good number. But
I'm a little disappointed with Brock, and we're going to talk about Brock
we'll
himself.
get there. Yeah, we'll get there.
We're going to lead off with that after I ask Aaron how he's doing.
Doing good. It's been a busy week. It's been a busy few weeks in the world of wrestling. A lot of injuries going on, which I'm sure we'll be talking about. Happy to have Josh Mansfield and Colin Andrew back. It was fun hanging out with you guys last month in Cleveland. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Dude, yes, that food was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And we did FaceTime Jeff Meacham. He said hi to everybody real quick.
Briefly, though, it was because I was out. Of course, every time you go out of town, Aaron, for a visit with everybody, I seem to be out and about actually doing something instead of sitting on my ass at home. So, figures.
Right. Now, we have a few super chats already before we've gotten started with this one. James sent in $2. Colin, good to see you back on screen, man. A lot of comments. Happy to see Colin back on the panel tonight.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Glad you're all here.
Yep. And Walter Cruz, who is sometimes on the NoDQ panel, he said, say yes to NoDQ.com. We thank you for that, Walter. It's always a pleasure to have him on. And then, I wonder what interesting comments we'll have tonight now that Jeff is actually on the panel. Mr. Tito, for those of you that missed last week, Jeff and Mr. Tito were going back and forth in the chat room. Mr. Tito said, let's hope Triple H learned his lesson of signing cruiserweights or ex-TNA wrestlers during his last talent relations run. Also, get rid of Prince Albert. What do you guys think about that? Jeff, what do you think about that comment?
Well, getting rid of Prince Albert's a difficult he means Matt Bloom. Okay, I'm sorry. I haven't heard anything wrong with Matt Bloom's work at the PC, so I don't see why we need to get rid of Matt Bloom. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat with that one. Like, I haven't heard any Bill DeMott shit or anything like that with
Thank
Matt
God.
Bloom. You know, and NXT up until the recent changes has been honestly producing pretty good stars and stuff, in my opinion, at least, for whatever that's worth. But
right,
I don't know. I like Matt Bloom.
I think what Tito's trying to say, without saying it, is they're always going to have a yes men trainer or group of trainers down there to teach the WWA in the Performance Center. Instead of having like Rick Rogers and guys like that really know how to have wrestlers go out there and work and sell. And we don't have that. We don't have that Ohio Valley wrestling stuff anymore. It's the NXT WWE Performance Center era.
Right. And
so
Tito,
that's how it is.
Tito wants it to be a certain way. Now, we do have another super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. He said, say yes to NoDQ.com and say no to infidelity.
Agreed.
Damn.
And we're starting off hot.
Already with the the bombs tonight. And one last thing here I wanted to share in case anybody missed it on social media. This was from our little meetup last month. You can see Josh Mansfield there in the back next to me, Virtue there. And Greg Cherry was there as well. Cleaver, Colin Andrew behind Virtue. That was a fun meetup. Great restaurant. That's in Cleveland, Ohio. Colin, what was that restaurant called? They did really good with the service.
Yeah, that was North High Brewing.
Yeah.
They're based out of Columbus, but they have locations spread out all through Ohio. There's one in Cleveland. There's one in Beechwood, Columbus, Dublin, Cincinnati's opening soon. Yeah, super, super good food, good drinks. If you like Moscow Mules, they make a good one.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Go ahead.
Ready to get started?
To get started.
So I don't even know where to begin here. SmackDown happened, and Reigns came back from his new part-time schedule to do a match against Riddle. Went over. We know Orton's hurt. Seems like it's real. That was the rumored opponent for Reigns at SummerSlam. When all else fails, what do? You Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns it. And the problem is they have to do that because as bad and stale as their matches have been, right? And again, maybe they don't have the chemistry. Although I'll go back to WrestleMania 31. I thought they started their match really, really well that time before Rollins cashed in. And Roman was like way younger, still probably a little bit green even. But they got to go back to that well because Brock pops numbers, Reigns pops numbers, and they got to sell tickets to a stadium in Nashville. Here's the problem. You can't just slap Last Man Standing on it and present this as it's something else. It's not. It's another Lesnar and Reigns match. This probably would be okay if they didn't only go 12 minutes and the ending kind of fell flat at WrestleMania. Now, is this to make up for that because they have to do it now with injuries? But Jeff Meacham, man, Last Man Standing, I so wanted a triple threat. Even if the third person in this match is somebody that you don't know would necessarily win it, but it could at least add that element of intrigue, whether it's the Money in the Bank contract winner saying I'm cashing it in, making it a triple threat, and I'm going to beat both of them to prove that, hey, I'm just as good. I don't know, man, but Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again, after they have to know people are crapping on their matches. Jeff?
Well, I talked about it on, I think it was on Tuesday's show. Forgive me, I've done a few shows this week, so they all jumbled together. As long as Last Man Standing truly means that, Last Man Standing, the winner of this match is the winner of the feud, is the winner of everything. Just go away to the chat. And now Aaron's shaking his head that it won't be, because we'll probably get about 5 more matches with these guys, and that's fine. But I feel that if you're going to have something like Last Man Standing where, usually it's to defend the winner. As far as I know, The Rock and Mick Foley only had one match after their Last Man Standing, which was the night after to, again, pop a Raw rating and to get the title officially on The Rock before WrestleMania. Again, Roman made a great point before Brock came out. There's nobody left. Orton's hurt, like you said. Riddle, they built up very well, but he still lost. There's nobody really left that can actually be in my opinion, a viable threat to Reigns at this point without bringing somebody back or, elevating somebody that, as you mentioned, Virtue, would be unexpected. Will we have a Money in the Bank cash in during it the same way we had at WrestleMania in Santa Clara? Maybe. But does that not ultimately diffuse the idea of Last Man Standing? Because now you have to get 2 people down. Exactly. And make it a last man standing out of 3, which is much more difficult. Kind of muddles it up for me.
Which almost makes you think that they're going through with this one-on-one match, no matter what. And whoever wins Money in the Bank, they'll just wait for another day. Josh Mansfield, what do you think here? And you know what? Regardless of the type of match, who it's against, are you now better never to bet against Roman Reigns at this point?
Yes, I know what you're referencing.
Remember, I said 1,000 days. And with this new schedule, he can get there a lot easier now.
See, as much as I hate to agree with I think there might still be a Money in the Bank cash-in, maybe after the match is done. Let them have their match. Let them blow this feud off once and for all, because you know it's stale when you, Virtue, are annoyed that this is happening.
Yeah, I just want a third participant.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's what I want.
Needs to be. It should be Lashley. In all honesty, it should be Lashley or Rollins, because Reigns never pinned Rollins. Reigns lost that match against Rollins via DQ. So he has still never pinned Seth Rollins during this reign. You ask me, Reigns wins this, Lesnar's down, Seth comes out, Money in the Bank, if it ends up being Seth winning it, and that's how SummerSlam ends. I'm not looking... They're trying to make it a last man standing just to make us be interested. To force our
lazy booking, exactly.
It is. It is completely lazy booking because Randy's out. It really is. Like when I didn't have a chance to watch SmackDown, but when I heard Lesnar came back, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? SummerSlam, in the words of Aaron Rift, went down a letter grade for me automatically. So that's my thoughts on that one.
Colin. Well said, Josh. All right, Colin.
All right. Well, I mean, it's Lesnar and it's Reigns. Yes, we kind of have had a few moments with their last match or whatever, but they have that power to remember like back in the day when we had Hunter and Rock, or Rock and Stone Cold, like, or even 10 years ago, 12 years ago when we had Cena and Orton. We saw those same matches over and over and over. This is just this current generation's that. They need the stipulation to, honestly, the stipulation makes sense a little bit to me just because there's, they've had some good moments with their feud. But going forward, I'm hoping up until SummerSlam, there is a little bit of a different type of buildup than we've seen in the past. That can really make or break it for me, in my opinion. But there's no one left. And why not? SummerSlam used to be like the second biggest event of the year. And now it's still just anymore. So if you really need the star power, yeah, you're going to put him in. Everyone wants to see Brock. Everyone wants to see Roman. Those numbers don't lie. Look at, just look at the latest numbers. We'll get to it more later, but the latest rating from SmackDown last week, it shows itself, and we didn't even know Brock Lesnar was going to show up. So I'm looking forward to it with the intentions of the build-up being different this time around, if that makes any sense to you guys. Because if they can tweak some stuff how it's been from the past, you learn from the past, if they can do that, then I think this could be a really good match. I really do.
And it is, Colin, it is lazy booking because
it is, but
they could make a triple threat and they could find like a Rollins and push a guy right when they're needing a next guy to get pushed because of injuries. You make somebody a triple threat opponent in that match. Now you're pushing somebody. They could, instead of a last man standing match, if it is one-on-one, put some more intrigue to it. Make people scratch their head and think. Make it loser leaves WWE. Lesnar Reigns, one guy's got to leave, and not, and they all come back down the road. But at least you're like, wow, last man standing. Come on, might as well have a TLC match or something.
It's just they're two big guys that can go out there and beat each other's ass. So maybe that's the best way for them to advertise it. I don't know.
And the Usos will be involved, right? Anything
of course, but
Aaron, what do you think?
I'm just trying to look at the positives of this. I'm thinking that maybe a last man standing match will allow them to do more than just spam their finishing moves. Maybe they'll actually go into the crowd. Maybe they'll do something where both guys get knocked off a platform and there's a double 10 count. They're both counted out. Crowd is booing. However, Swerve, Seth Rollins shows up at the end, cashes in Money in the Bank, and wins the title.
Assuming he wins it.
Counted down in the last man standing match. just like Josh Mansfield said, let Reigns and Lesnar do their match, and it could be a draw because the fans will still get a payoff at the end if Seth Rollins comes out there and cashes in. A lot of people seem to think that Rollins is going to cash in again, and I'm really hoping that Reigns will have a stipulation in the contract that says only one title is on the line, only the WWE title. That way we can get that WWE title off of Reigns. And quite frankly, I think the Universal title needs to go. Have Drew McIntyre win at Clash at the Castle. Reigns does not need the title when he faces The Rock. To me, that story is who's the real tribal chief, Jeff?
We're all making, well, I should say we, you in that statement, and again, we as the Universal, we are making the assumption that Rollins is going to win. We're making the assumption that hopefully they're going to divide the titles. That hopefully The Rock will be in Inglewood in WrestleMania. There's a lot of ifs that could very much
Jeff,
on the wayside.
I still have a dark horse in Riddle, even though he's not in the match yet. That they'll have all the losers of the qualifying matches have a match where, like, Rollins makes sense, right? But
of course,
you never know with WWE, man. I mean, they had Otis win the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right. And how much did we all groan at that? And like, oh God, how are we going to possibly? And then ultimately, yeah, it took a minute, but the payoff of Lashley finally becoming the WWE champion, I thought was worth it. It was so well laid out. It was just, again, like our buddy TJ used to say, let things play out.
Yeah. Jeff, just real quick regarding Otis, I feel like maybe that would have gone differently for him. Probably not, but I feel like the pandemic really hurt his momentum. Like he was getting big crowd pops with Mandy Rose, and then they had their big moment at WrestleMania with no fans. And maybe WWE thought, like, before the pandemic shut everything down, Otis was building up momentum and they could have capitalized on it. But unfortunately,
they got a major pop in the Rumble moment when Otis saved her from being eliminated. But yeah, the big payoff of Mandy finally, becoming a babyface and siding with him was in front of WWE employees, and that was it. So there was no guttural reaction. I think if there would have been, it would have probably extended longer. I don't mind Otis being this way now. I'm not going to lie. I like the Alpha Academy thing to a point. It's gotten a little bit more cheesy than I'd like, but I feel that, like you said, the pandemic derailed him. It went from Mr. Money in the Bank, getting the girl, which for fat guys was like, yes, we got the hot one. And then it's like, no partner, no girl, no briefcase, and nothing. So.
We do have a bunch of super chats here, so I guess we'll get to those before we move to the next topic. Now, I wanted to acknowledge Matt McClure real quick. He did send in a $5 super chat, but it's about something that we'll be talking about later. Matt, we will get to the super chat. I promise you that, so stay tuned. Interstate Kyle, who is currently traveling the Oregon coast. I'm jealous right now. He says Brock Lesnar equals ratings. And Virtue, he's right about that. Brock Lesnar's return on YouTube got 4 or 5 million views.
Yeah, and they draw. And for today's standards of what's left for TV viewers, they pop a number. Lesnar does, Reigns does. YouTube numbers are up. Can't blame WWE with a stadium event.
Yeah, it was the only show last week, Aaron, that the ratings went up. Every other wrestling show last week went down. Every single one except SmackDown.
Yeah, the Reigns and Riddle match did a bigger quarter hour than Vince's return, and that was something that was hyped up throughout the day, and people were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna tune in. I was ready at 5:00 out here with the Fire Stick. All right, we're gonna watch, and then I heard him like, yeah, I'll watch Reigns and Riddle later because I really don't care because he didn't do anything, nor did he really do anything on Monday except hype up Cena. So
right. And Sean Garner will be doing Money in the Bank predictions next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you tune in for that one. We're still thinking, right?
That's right. And you got your predictions on Tuesday with you guys, and then we'll have the watch along deal on Saturday the 2nd. So lots of coverage on Money in the Bank, kids. Don't worry. We'll get there.
Absolutely. All right. Walter Cruz sent in $5. Thank you, Walter. Sometimes he's on the NoDQ review. Sometimes he's in the chat room sending us some questions. He says, Riddle can get one title match and can never challenge Reigns again, yet Lesnar gets an infinite amount of title matches. Why is that, Jeff?
Because he's Brock friggin' Lesnar. That's why.
Exactly.
He's Vince's new boy, as Roman said all those years ago.
Pretty much. Brock Lesnar can do whatever he wants. The rules do not apply to Brock.
Off
Lesnar.
that farm, he can dictate whatever he wants to do.
Exactly. And Walter Cruz sent in another $5 super chat. He says, WWE definitely keeps going to the same well. I thought it would be dry by now, but Vince gets a hard-on for Lesnar versus Reigns, among other things.
Can we go 1 week without mentioning a Vince hard-on this show? Just 1 week. One week.
Oh, gosh.
Well, Vince likes when people are coming. Let's be real here. And speaking of people coming,
yes,
you know what I have to plug here.
Yes, you do.
Robbie is coming to
All over.
NoDQ.com. He is. Stay tuned for that. And now we'll get back to the super chats. Dwayne Atkinson
working with this guy, and nothing still surprises me to this day. I love it. Anyway,
Dwayne Atkinson said, "My buddies, great to see you guys again. It's been a minute since I got to see the review live. WB, Cleaver, and Josh, great to see you guys back."
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, dude.
Dwayne's been a great super chatter on both channels and on Greg's channel for about a month and a half, 2 months. He's been a great fan. We really appreciate Dwayne being along for the crazy ride.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Seth Wallens sent in a $2 super chat. Says,
It still makes me laugh every time, dude. I'm
Seth
sorry.
Franklin Rollins.
Seth Franklin Wallens. Pay Ambrose the big dollars and push him to the moon.
When he came and grind.
Moon.
I'm not sure it's better, the username or the avatar. Those are both tremendous.
I
Does he
think
actually-
it's a perfect combination, dude.
It really is.
Very beautiful.
He didn't super chat. I did see JJ in the chat room. So hello, JJ, acknowledging the fact that Colin and Josh and I are on the same stream. So he said something like he was genuinely surprised or some kind of big reaction. I don't remember what he said here. Sorry, JJ.
Good to see you, Jay. Thanks for being here, bud.
Cleaver and Meacham and Mansfield. Oh my, is what he said. So there you go.
Accurate.
Psychojet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says the real G1 climax is when Johnny Ace comes out.
Oh, sweet Lord. Can we
Oh,
not?
shit.
Great segue, though.
I put a layer on that because if
Man.
Laurinaitis has to go somewhere else, he's on New Japan. New Japan will shit on him worse than ever.
Oh, boy.
So, Aaron, was that the last super chat for now?
Well, I guess we could just say this is random, but I just want to throw it out real quick. Psychojet Black sent in $2. Says better cities, Cleveland or Cincinnati?
Oh, Cleveland. Cleveland.
I've only been to the Cleveland airport, and I've never been to Cincinnati, even though my family originated from there. So I have to go with Cleveland based on knowledge.
Dude, Cincinnati sucks. I hate Cincinnati.
Whoa.
I absolutely hate that town. I have friends that live there. My ex-brother-in-law lives there. Like, I can't stand it.
And there's a sucky football team.
Especially the Greyhound station. That is the worst. Like, oh god. And Skyline Chili isn't that good. So
Thank you. Like
Sorry.
I said, my dad loves Skyline Chili. I haven't talked about it when I was
Chili with spaghetti.
kind of
I like chili with spaghetti, but not Skyline's chili with spaghetti. I like beanless chili with spaghetti, I should say. But
Skyline
it's
has to be. It has to
dog
be
food texture.
Cincinnati. If you buy that shit on the storefront or a store shelf anywhere outside of Cincinnati, it tastes like crap. It doesn't travel well, and it's already got a different kick to begin with. So if you're not having it live in Cincinnati, it is garbage.
They put, for the record, they put cinnamon in it. That's the kick.
Which I don't like cinnamon, so it makes the most sense why I didn't like it when I had it here.
Gross.
There's your fun food facts for the day, folks. There you go.
That, Colin. And Psychojet Black sent in another one, but we're going to save that for after dark so we don't go too off into these non-wrestling topics until the end.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to super chat a non-wrestling topic, save it for the end when we do our plugs and stuff so we can go into our little non-wrestling spiels at the end.
Yes. I will say, since you're a fan, both Scott Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris liked Skyline Chili when we talked about it when I interviewed them. So, anyway.
Okay.
Copy that.
Name drop, don't mind me.
So right now, Bruce Pritchard is the interim head of talent relations for the WWE because of everything that's happening with Vince McMahon. Now we're going to talk about Triple H and NXT a little bit later, but I mean, I still think that that John Laurinaitis is going to be the scapegoat, and at some point he's going to be gone from the company. I mean, publicly traded company. Vince ain't going anywhere. I mean, that's a tricky situation. I think Stephanie's a placeholder because she's McMahon, but Vince is coming out on TV doing his promos, letting everybody know I'm still here. That's what that's all about, in my opinion. Laurinaitis, if he's part of this thing, one thing for Vince to cheat on Linda, a lot of people know that they really haven't been together allegedly for years. Okay, whatever. But like Johnny Ace, I mean, he's married to Bella's mother who has brain cancer. But it's not a good look at all for a publicly traded company. So Johnny Ace going bye-bye in my opinion. But I'm laughing because of this, Bruce Pritchard is the interim head of talent relations for WWE. Jeff Meacham, take it away.
Oh man.
Oh God, I get to go first on Johnny. Oh please,
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Damn
Okay,
it. Can I go
And
second,
Bruce,
please?
Johnny and Bruce. I mean, Bruce is still there working hard.
Oh boy.
so people know how I feel about Johnny. I've not been, exactly meek about that over the last decade or so. He's a piece of crap. He's just awful. I don't mind Bruce Pritchard necessarily being in charge of the talent relations part of things. Just he's also been part of creative, which has been abysmal, for the most part. So it's kind of a mixed bag with Bruce. But John Laurinaitis, stepping out on Mama Bella while she was recovering from brain cancer is everything you know about John Laurinaitis and his dipshit personality.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Again, allegedly. Again,
But
that's
it's so believable. But
okay. So he allegedly stepped out on Mama Bella, which is fine. He's legitimately an asshole because I know that's personal experience. He's a complete prick. So it wouldn't surprise me a bit if he did do this. As far as being a scapegoat, like Virtue kind of touched on it briefly. Vince is the way the company's structured with the public trading. He can't get voted out. He has to step down himself. So he's not going anywhere. And the TV things are what they are. But Laurinaitis can very easily be dismissed, and I wouldn't be surprised if he already has been. We just haven't heard it yet.
yeah, and
Probably,
think about it.
They're probably facing freaking big PR things, to keep us guessing.
Vince said, then, now, forever, together. Because they always do things together. It's just, Colin, what do you think here?
I'm going to enjoy this one.
What's up? That is glitched for a second.
What do you think here, Colin?
Dude, all right, Aaron, I'm so sorry, but it's been a long time. Dude, Laurinaitis is fucked harder than that chick that they both banged. Like, it is just, he's done. Obviously, if Mama Bella forgives him for, that's their own thing. But business-wise, he is the raccoon under the damn tire. Like, he's done. Bruce Pritchard, I can't stand his ass either. His creative is just an abomination, in my opinion. But Laurinaitis he's the scapegoat. He's the one that Vince is going to easily throw under. I see him being completely finished with the business after this. Good luck to you, Johnny Ace, in both your professional and personal life, because you kind of fucked up both of them pretty bad. Sorry again, Aaron. Those are my two. I promise. It could happen again, maybe. I'm sorry, but it's just this whole thing is just so crazy. And again, it all really comes down to, for my opinion, is if they paid her off with Vince's cash or the company's cash, because that's what it all truly boils down to at the end of the day. And as many people will fall to protect Vince as need be. So, Johnny Ace, you're next up on the guillotine. Have fun. Peace out, amigo.
And if Jerry McDivitt is Vince's attorney, I mean, Vince has a good shot to get all this swept under the rug because, I mean, that's what Jerry
And it's
McDivitt
Vince.
does.
He's got the money to invest in to try to get it swept under the rug, too. So,
Jeff, you were going to say something?
I'll say, Colin, you and I haven't been on a stream since all this shit started. You've been on a stream in a long time, actually. That's really the only thing that matters as far as the whole thing. And as far as from the fans' point of view that don't have stock interest in the company, that should be all it's about. Is if did Vince pay this lady off with WWE funds or with his own funds? Because otherwise, none of this other shit really matters in the grand scheme of things, right?
I mean, yeah, I fully agree on that. You know what I mean? People, their personal life is one thing. Yes, it is the business. It's the era of social media. It's the era of I need to know everything shitty or about everybody, yada, yada, yada. Everyone wants the power because with the power comes the money, and everyone's all about that cheddar. But at the same time, this is, you know, a personal thing that could have been a business thing, and is it a cover-up? That's what that needs to boil down to. And at the end of the day, when those facts are proven, you know, the cards will be completely dealt. But, you know,
and are there other instances of sexual?
Yeah,
issues?
and that's another thing. Thank you. That is another thing I was going to bring up. Like, are we going to get? I don't take this the wrong way. If you do, like, slam your head against the wall. Are we going to get another hashtag Me Too out of this?
Right.
You know, with other female employees from the past, or this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Is this going to spark a whole new revolution? Are we going to have a what's the Browns quarterback?
Watson.
They had all that. Yes, Deshaun Watson. Are we going to have another one of those situations arise? But till then, I mean, I guess until all the facts are laid out, there's going to be a fall guy, and that will be Laurinaitis. But at the end of the day, we're just waiting for those facts to find out where that money came from.
True. That's a good point in the chat room there. It's again, if that's proven to be true, that her actual WWE documented pay was raised through this, that's definitely corporate funding trickling down the wrong ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, that's really all that matters. If a company funded this bullshit, then the SEC is going to be on it like flies on shit. If not, it really doesn't matter to any of us. And unless you're a stockholder, it really shouldn't.
Josh, what do you think here? You've been quiet for a while. I haven't been to you for a minute. What do you think?
I think Johnny Ace should listen to his daughter-in-law's theme song. You can look, but you can't touch. Johnny, good freaking riddance. He has been Vince's yes boy for years. He has been one of Vince's biggest yes boy. You can say Bruce, you can say Dunn. Laurinaitis has been his go-to. When he took Triple H out of talent relations, he put Laurinaitis back in. And now Laurinaitis is thankfully going bye-byes. Yeah. Really, dude, you're a dumbass and just good riddance, basically. And just it'll be interesting to see if any other Vinnie Mac yes men fall.
Well,
because
interestingly enough, Jeff Jarrett's working there now, and Jarrett has never been a Vince yes man. So maybe like that. I'm interested to see where he goes in this. Now, he had experience with TNA for a while, and you can say ultimately look where TNA ended up, a shell of its former self. But since WCW and before AEW came on the scene, without a billionaire involved, Jarrett did a pretty damn good job of having a wrestling promotion that wasn't WWE for people across the nation to see. So he's hired there. We'll see what happens with Jarrett too.
Yeah, Tito's got jokes.
Well, I'm not going to add too much to it just because we did touch upon it last week and not really much has come out since last week. I will say this, though. I think that Laurinaitis will be the scapegoat. However, I feel like he will be back at some point once the heat dies down. And I agree with Curtis Butler. If there's no more NDAs and if there's no more information that really comes out about this, I think that Steve-O is right. in the chat room, I think Vince will find a way to get out of this, and the heat will die down at some point, and it will be business as usual. Anything can happen, though. Like, there very well could be more information that comes out at some point that could really jeopardize Vince's position on top. So let's get to a few super chats now. And Dwayne Atkinson sent in $5, and here you go. This is what I was talking about. He says, if I'm wrong, sorry, but hasn't Big Johnny been fired before and keeps getting rehired down the road?
I don't
Bruce
think he's
got fired and got rehired.
Yeah, Bruce did. Bruce definitely did. I don't think
So
John.
I thought Johnny for a while disappeared from WWE.
I think he was like, during the time where he was removed from the People Power during that storyline. I think he was still on the company payroll. He just wasn't doing like the active talent relations or anything. I think he was just another guy that was collecting the paycheck. Maybe I think he was just an advisory role, but he's never actually been off of the payroll since the WCW buyout in 2001.
Yeah, I mean, there have been guys that have been gone from the company and then they would come back once heat died down, like Pat Patterson during the whole Ring Boys scandal. He disappeared and then he was brought back a while later. So it does happen. Yeah. And I could see that scenario playing out again.
Then can we bring Enzo back?
No.
Exactly.
Because WWE doesn't like him for whatever reason.
He's money.
I agree, man.
But do you not like money, Vince?
John Laurinaitis tells Vince what he likes to hear.
Well, Johnny Ace is a dumbass, so who cares?
Well, Vince disagrees. Vince very much likes John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard.
Vince likes John Laurinaitis because he was one of the few people that was actively working for WCW at the time of the buyout that immediately attached his nose to Vince's ass at the buyout. That's why.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Psycho Jet Black's got a couple jokes for everybody. He's the Madcap Moss of the chat room. He says Vince and Johnny really like tag teaming somebody.
Ooh.
Pretty good one. And then he sent another $2. So thank you, Psycho Jet Black, for the humor tonight. Says Johnny really likes spreading his people power.
All right, so Psycho, just for the record, Psycho. Hang on. I've only got this much left. You're going to drive me to finish this with these horrible visuals in my head. So thank you for that,
Jeff. You should drink some of it every time Psycho Jet Black super chats a joke.
There you go.
John hepatitis, Jeff. John hepatitis.
Challenge accepted.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
So here we go.
Drunk Jeff, that's always a fun time.
It's always fun on NoDQ.com. Aaron members.
Well, we had a live stream a couple months ago when Noah Foster had to drink Mountain Dew throughout the entire live stream.
Wow, that's a highly caffeinated Simple Man.
Yes. All right.
It's already highly hyper as it is.
Very, and you know what? We love him for that. We're going to play Sunday, calling Forbidden Door, injury-ridden though it may be.
Yeah, we need him to lay off that Mountain Dew when we're talking about professional wrestling.
Damn it.
And that credit is coming to ProWrestlingTees.com/Network very soon. Don't worry.
Big G is here. Shout out to Big G.
Definitely.
He was going to be on tonight, but we had a little bit of a miscommunication. He should be back next week. He says, "Sup, everyone. Good to see my boy Colin back on. And screw Mr. Tito."
Dude,
Well said.
I don't have a problem
Amen.
with Tito. I'm just throwing it out there now. I got no problem with Tito. We have always had a good relationship. Y'all do your own thing, but me and him are cool. So.
Well, good to hear. And Tito's a great guy, but we want him back on the videos, and don't think it's going to happen, man.
We as in the real we as in Aaron. I give a shit if he comes back.
Ouch. I might be the only Tito supporter left in this
No,
group.
Colin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, I literally just said I have no problem with it.
Do you want him on a video? Do you want him on a video?
We have a different. Do I want him on a video? Yeah, why not?
All right, fair enough.
Tito, if
we
you
caught
don't
up,
want to, Tito, if you don't want to debate versus you, if you want to do a NoDQ debate, I'll do one with you. if you're open to that,
All right.
I'll throw down that gauntlet to you, friend to friend.
All right. I stand corrected.
No bullshit.
Mr. Tito said Colin is awesome. So maybe we'll see that happen.
Colin is Andrew, but yes,
Colin is
I
Andrew.
appreciate that.
You only how that works when it's the name. It's only how it works, but you know.
Johnny Boy sent in a $5 super chat, and we're all wondering this. What was that?
Johnny's watching. See, he's trying to talk shit about him.
He says, will Vince keep trolling on Raw and SmackDown every week until things die down? The way he is handling things is hilarious.
We'll find out tomorrow night.
Right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He makes a third appearance in a row. This could be an ongoing thing.
All right, we're caught up now.
Okay, time for some AEW chat. Forbidden Doors coming up. Obviously catered to the niche diehard New Japan and AEW fans. Casuals do not give a shit about this. But who's the mystery opponent going to be for Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door? Coincidentally, Johnny Gargano is going to be in Chicago that weekend, that same day. And we know guys like Cesaro's out there. Bryan Danielson will not be competing. So take it away. This is the big AEW talk for the week. Josh Mansfield, I'll come over to you first. Me personally, I hope Johnny goes back to WWE now that Triple H might be back in power or have some type of power again in NXT and WWE, which we'll talk about. Johnny was one of his guys. We'll see. I think going to AEW is just another one went over. Boring. Who cares about the matches? Josh Mansfield, that's just what I think. What do you think?
I'll probably piggyback off of that one when we get to Triple H later, but I do not care about this pay-per-view whatsoever. I looked at the whole match card earlier in the NoDQ chat, and I
Are
don't
you
give
a real wrestling
any
fan?
match. What?
Are you a real wrestling fan?
Yes, that's why I don't give a crap.
You don't appreciate work rate.
I do. I appreciate good match storytelling. Now, back to this match. Is Samoa Joe injured? I mean, I know we got the summer of injuries.
Yeah, his shoulder's injured. And
that's
right.
right.
Well, what's that show he's doing?
It's something B-rated, so I don't remember.
Yeah, he's got some acting gig he's got going on right now.
Yeah, I have no clue who it's going to be. I really don't care, to be quite honest. I just don't. I don't give a crap about this pay-per-view. Nothing appeals to me. I'll just say Timothy Thatcher, just to go with my bro Colin here.
You stole
just
that
because,
from me in the chat.
Yeah, just because Triple H is hopefully back in charge, which we'll get to that later. So I don't see Gargano doing that. I'm just going Timothy Thatcher, just because why not?
You know, and I'm going to throw a name out there too. Colin, I'll come over to you just to throw a name out there because I don't want Cesaro or Gargano stoop to going there. I get it if they do. Payday. I don't know this guy's injury status right now at all, but I'm going to throw Kenny Omega's name in the hat. Why not? Kenny Omega, let's go pop a 7-star rating by Meltzer with against Zack Sabre Jr. And I don't know. I'm sure they probably worked when Omega was over in Japan. I'm not quite sure. But that's how much I just don't care about it either. Josh, I'm just going to say Omega. But what do you think, Colin?
Yeah, dude. So I was thinking about it. Like, Cesaro, yes, he's done a lot of tag team stuff, but I think his best shiningness has been by himself. And I don't see him aligning with a new group right away. I see him, maybe coming in and doing the all-Atlantic challenging, hopefully Miro, so I get a point for the All-Atlantic Championship. He can represent Switzerland, and I think that would be a better route for Cesaro. And for Gargano, I know Gargano has some stuff advertised here locally in Cleveland. I believe next month he's going to be at an AEW show and stuff like that. So I know AEW is very good at letting some stars work independent dates, but at the same time, I really think he would do better with a WWE return. So as Josh said earlier, I mentioned in our NoDQ chat earlier that I think it's going to be Timothy Thatcher. Him and William Regal have history, and this, that, and the other, and he's a brawler type. The rest of his ring conf boys are in WWE. You have Marcel Barthel and Walter. I'm not using their other names right now. Are on SmackDown, and then you have Fabian Eichner in NXT. Thatcher, I know, returned to Pro Wrestling Noah or something like that a couple weeks ago. So I'm going with Thatcher. Just out of everybody out there, if it is Omega, that'd be cool. But I really don't see him showing up until something involving the Young Bucks. Like he backs the Young Bucks, maybe when they go to challenge FTR or something. I don't know, but I'm going with Thatcher.
Okay. Jeff Meacham, what do you think over there as you take another drink?
Okay.
Apple juice?
The Bucks, no, dude. The Bucks actually have a match on Sunday or Saturday. Sunday. Sorry, they're in that Bullet Club 8-man Bullet Club versus Darby Sting craziness. That would be a wonderful surprise because I watched Timothy Thatcher when he was out here working for NWA Hollywood. I think the conventional wisdom is either Gargano or Cesaro. I like the one comment I saw about Cesaro joining it because he's got a history with Regal, and Cesaro, Claudio, and Kingston are just natural enemies. So it would be one way to not completely sever the Blackpool Combat Club from Kingston and Santana Ortiz, but it'd be a cool dynamic to have Cesaro, Claudio in there as an option for potential strife down the line. I think the most obvious is Gargano because he's going to be in Chicago, but that could be a red herring. We've all talked about those over the years. I'll say it's going to be Claudio just because it'd be a cool thing for him to be in AEW, just to have somebody different there. And I don't know where Johnny is as far as his career because the baby's still very, very young. I don't know if him and Candice are back going into it full time or not. So I think the better answer is Claudio for Sunday. As far as overall pay-per-view, I'm actually looking forward to featuring it and calling it because they've got again the storytelling in AEW is what it will always be, at least for now. And if you're not familiar with the New Japan product, it's kind of a what the hell's happening. But I think the matches themselves will be fun to call at the very least.
Oh, Meltzer's going to be like, oh, giddy. Oh, man.
Okay. It's funny you mentioned Meltzer. Do you know that the first ever 6-star rating was not one of the Japan matches? Did you know that? It was Steamboat Flair on a house show in '89, but between New Orleans, between Chicago and New Orleans.
Oh.
And we care about this because
people always think that the first ever match he gave more than 5 stars to was Omega Okada, and that was not the case.
Again, it's Meltzer's opinion of what wrestling is, good wrestling is. All right, Aaron, what do you think?
I'm not going to add too much to what you guys have already talked about. I think it's going to be Cesaro, could be Gargano. I think anybody other than those two will be seen as a disappointment. I think if it was anybody other than those two, it should have been announced on Dynamite. The fact that they're making it a surprise for the pay-per-view, making people tune in, buying the pay-per-view to see who it is, it's got to be somebody significant. Cesaro is one of the biggest free agents out there. I think it's going to be him. We all know Tony Khan loves the old school Ring of Honor guys. Claudio was a big deal in Ring of Honor. I think it's pretty much a sure thing that it's going to be Cesaro. Could be Gargano, but the fact that this whole Chicago thing is happening and he's made it pretty clear it's just a coincidence. And yeah, there's always the chance he's working everybody, but he's like, no matter what I say, most of you aren't going to believe me anyways type of deal. So I think it's going to be Cesaro, which is fine. I think it'll be entertaining. I think it's going to be a great show. I'm not familiar with the New Japan stuff, but I'm sure it will be entertaining. Everybody's going to work hard. I think all the matches will be high quality and, not my ultimate cup of tea. I like to be more familiar with what's going on, and I want some reason to care about what's happening. But I do think the matches will be really good. The takeovers, for a while, I was not even watching the NXT shows. I would just tune in for the takeovers, and I was always entertained. Now, also, those were like 2.5-hour pay-per-views, not 4-hour pay-per-views with half of the guys I've never heard of before. But
Right.
I still think that they will deliver. Mr. Tito is like nobody cares except for the Meltzer bots and wannabes. But keep in mind, $1 million gate for that show at the United Center. So, yeah, it is a niche audience, but a niche audience that is willing to shell out the money. And we'll see what the pay-per-view buy rate is. I'm curious to see how they do coming off 1 month from Double or Nothing. Jeff?
When you figure the first ever event at the United Center was a wrestling show and how hot that crowd has been for wrestling the last almost 30 years, it doesn't surprise me there's $1 million gate for Sunday at all. Not even a bit.
Yeah. And you know they're going to be hot for pretty much everything on that show, which does help. Like, it's better that than crickets when the people come out there. At least the fans are passionate about it, and they'll bring the energy, and everybody will work really hard. So
Chicago always brings you or bad. They always have a fired up crowd in the Windy City. Always.
I call 3 injuries. There'll be at least 3 injuries that show.
I hope not. They cannot afford any more injuries. That's for damn
Right.
Could be the New Japan guys.
Well, obviously, a few of them have been injured as well. So,
All right, let's get to the super chats now regarding this topic. Well, Psycho Jet Black, of course, always has to chime in. Says Ricochet does not have the same work rate as Johnny Ace. That's why it's hard for him to satisfy Vince's needs, and he can't perform at that level.
All right. What's the other one? Because I know there's at least 2 jokes from him again.
Oh, God, this is going to be tough here. Well, let's give you a break here, Jeff, for just a second.
No.
Dwayne,
Let's see this. Let's let this play out. Come on. I'll do it with him.
Terrible.
You guys going to take a shot together on the next one?
Dude, I have a bottle sitting next to me. Yes, let's do this.
All right. So Dwayne Atkinson said hashtag Johnny Sloppy Seconds.
This is how me and Jeff are making up right now, okay? Don't ruin this for us.
This is a bonding moment.
There you go.
All right. Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. Who did WWE screw over harder, EC3 or Karrion Kross? Jeff, you start.
Karrion Kross. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like they got all that behind him, and then nothing came of it. EC3 they didn't even friggin' try.
Yeah, EC3 was never even a big star in NXT, really.
They literally brought him over with the exact same friggin' gimmick. They just couldn't call him Ethan Carter because Dixie would have been like, excuse the fuck me. Cross, at least they tried a little bit, and they still screwed him over.
Yeah.
Vince screwed him over on the main roster.
Yeah.
Triple H took him to the moon.
They pulled an Amber Heard with her. Straight shit to bed with Karrion Kross.
That gets a toast just because of the reference. That's tremendous, Cleaver. Good job, brother.
Team Johnny.
Oh, man.
That's right. Team Johnny on that front, not WWE, but
Yeah.
He will be back. Mark my words.
Mhm.
Johnny Depp will be back as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Always. No one
who
can duplicate.
I miss Paul Burchill when he was doing that.
Yeah,
Jack
That
remember
shit
that.
was funny. That shit was good.
He would swing on the thing. That was great.
That was an underrated character in WWE. I was all
I
down.
never saw any of his stuff.
Yeah, he was only there for a couple months, but it was fun when they were doing it. It was a total knockoff, but I enjoyed it.
Wasn't that character part of that stupid walk through the back that Booker T and Trammell were taking prior to the Boogeyman match?
Probably.
Everybody else was, right?
Main event
right.
time, Aaron. We got more super chats.
Yeah, and this kind of like leads us into this main event topic. We'll get to this Matt McClure super chat now. He sent in $5. Says, sounds like Triple H has a lot more power. What have you heard? What's happening behind the stage? More shakeups coming? We're going to talk about it right now. Virtue, go ahead and let's go to the main.
So Vince has temporarily stepped down as CEO. Stephanie's been she's the placeholder, right? That's to keep the McMahon name is still there. It's not Vince while he's being investigated. Triple H has been back in some type of office capacity, obviously, for several months now. But it's interesting that we hear these as rumors, and he was recently at the Performance Center, and we hear these things saying he's back. So what exactly does it mean? like again, Stephanie in power. Just because she's a placeholder, if you're that, if that's your title, you can still be the leader and say and do what you want. So is there a reason Triple H is maybe stirring things back up in NXT? Maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe Triple H was okay with what Vince did to NXT, and ultimately when he got healthy and he came back, he was going to take Vince's vision and be allowed to maybe put little Triple H's tweak on it to keep those diehard indie wrestling fans happy. So, Colin, what do you think here? Very interesting. I don't think we're getting the black and gold NXT back.
No.
But Shawn Michaels is still down there as a agent or whatever he does as a producer. Triple H, you still got the click down in NXT, it seems like.
And that's a good thing because, let's revisit history, folks. Yes, we know NXT has never been the biggest brand. For a while, it was the best brand out of 3. Fight me. And with Hunter and Shawn, if I don't know what kind of power Hunter has again, this, that, and the other, but since they've transformed into this Fruity Pebble bullshit, I don't remember the last time I've sat down on Tuesday, and watched a full NXT. Or even half. It's been a long time. It's there's some characters that are really good still. Carmella Hayes, shout out to him. Little Oos and Cameron Grimes is always good. Braun Breaker. It's just the way they're being presented, the whole atmosphere. But if Hunter can come back and try to revive what was lost over the last, I'm going to say 8 months or so, guys. From the exits of your Adam Coles, your Garganos, your Ciampas, your O'Reillys, the major players of that. Maybe he can do that with some of the new talent that I just had mentioned off. But if Bruce Pritchard still has got his pull in there, because correct me if I'm wrong, please, but wasn't Vince and Bruce in charge of NXT now?
Very much so.
But again, that'd be an amazing thing if Hunter can come back and maybe learn from some mistakes he's made in the past, and maybe try to produce not what NXT used to be, but a new format of what it could be. Try a new spin on what they're doing, because again, the numbers of NXT don't show what they used to. The whole product is a night and day difference to what it was 1 year ago. So
we'll have to wait this out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what. Yeah, there's a lot more news that needs to break to see exactly where we're at with this. We don't know if he's just back hanging out or if he's back in this reign. It's a whole ladder scheme. What rum is he chilling at right now?
Yep. Jeff Meacham, what do you think here of the game being back? And Tito's loving it because he wants Triple H to claim that he's back, and then nobody becomes WrestleMania main eventers, so Tito can continue to say Triple H is a failure at producing the next wrestling superstar for WWE. What does Jeff Meacham think?
Yeah, by the way, speaking of Tito, there's a long message he put in the chat room, Aaron. During After Dark, please put that up. Please. So I don't think Triple H ever really went out of power completely. I think he was just, taking the time off to recover from the heart surgery he had. The whole conspiracy theorist to me was like, okay, well, Shane gets put on timeout. Then Hunter retires publicly. Then Stephanie takes a hiatus. Now we got the allegations Stephanie's back in power even more so than she was. I personally believe that she was legit okay with taking a step back and kind of being away from things while everything was going on. But the committee said, okay, we want you in charge. I think if they'd have put, and I don't know, again, I don't know who's a stockholder in the chat room or in the review room here, but I think if they'd put anybody in the big chair besides a McMahon family member, stocks would have instantly. So that's all about perception. If the McMahon's a controlling member of the office, then the perception is oh shit. So I think that's the only reason why she's in the chair at this point. Hunter being back in charge of NXT, I'm really of a wait and see mindset because I don't think we're gonna get, as was mentioned all throughout the chat room, we're not gonna get the black and gold branding back tomorrow or Tuesday or whatever. Right. I think that whatever Vince wants, as long as Vince is still in charge of the creative of the company as a whole, and we've seen that because whenever Vince would bring up these guys that Triple H was cultivating, we would see them either shine or completely disintegrate. There was no in between. So as long as Vince has that final button to push at the end of everybody's creative vision, nothing's going to change.
Well put. I mean, Vince is. That's why, again, if he comes out on SmackDown tomorrow and says something again, he's just making sure everybody knows he's still there.
I hope he jumps off the apron this time instead of the stairs so we can get a whole new
those
pictures.
He almost bit it,
great.
Tripping over the ropes going back out. And I think he did that to save himself.
Yeah, I know. Aaron, maybe next time.
Aaron, do you ever put Darren G's comment up? Oh, okay. Well, we can read that one first. That's fine. But yeah, when this one's done, put Darren G's up because there's interesting points to make there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Triple H has a lot. No, because Stephanie's in charge of the business side of things. That has nothing to do with the creative we see on Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays, and the premium live events. People have that perception in their head. They're wrong because the business end of things is completely different from the creative people, in the room on production meetings as far as how the show itself is laid out on a creative standpoint. They are two completely different facets of the company. So Triple H can sit there and be in the co-CEO chair or whatever all he wants, but Vince is still directing is still running the direction creatively of the company until he says otherwise.
And at some point, someone's going to have to be the next in line because, Vince he keeps looking older and older every time we see him on TV.
Every time.
All right, Josh, take it away here with Triple H. Is he back in the game with NXT?
Hallelujah! Finally, yes.
So you're taking this as a yes. Things are going to change, and
oh yeah. Okay. I don't know if it will be an immediate or visible change, but Triple H being quote unquote back, I think he's going to have a lot of his say back that he had that was taken away when Bruce was put back in charge of NXT over Triple H, when a bunch of Triple H's guys were fired. Triple H coming in and saying he's back is sounding like his power is back, which is something that NXT has needed. Because Triple H makes amazing stars, and then Vince just craps all over him. You can think whatever you want, Tito, but that's how it actually is. I do have to disagree with Jeff, though. I think Steph being the chairwoman and CEO might have that. If it's not an actuality change, it's a perception change. Because Stephanie isn't just going to sit there as a seat warmer to wait for Daddy to come back. That's not Stephanie's mindset. That never has been. Stephanie's going to do this job as if she is going to still be chairwoman CEO.
Let me ask you, Josh, how do you know this? Is this just your gut feeling? Is this your gut feeling? Like, are there things out there of Stephanie that I haven't read of or in interviews where she's done this in her other roles? Like, what? I'm missing something here, Josh.
Partially gut feeling, but also just knowing how she has been in her other positions. She has been all gung-ho, straightforward. And what we heard from Sean Ross Sapp this past week on Twitter.
Who?
Yeah, I know. The entire roster reacted very much positively to the news of Stephanie being the one in charge. It's a matter of perception. So if the perception of Triple H saying he's back, that will automatically, I think, take a new perception for the current NXT product. Is it going to go back to a black and gold like we all wish it would? Unfortunately, no. Triple H has publicly endorsed the new direction of NXT 2.0.
Kind of has
I
to.
think
He has to save face, man. What do you think?
I'm
And
aware.
you're like, oh, this shit sucks. Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware. But even Regal has come out in support of it. Not
Because he's
just
a gentleman.
him and AEW
Right.
coming out in support of it.
Gentlemen. That's
So,
right.
so I do think that just even the perception of Triple H having power is going to do a heck of a lot of good for NXT and for that side of things. Will he bring Gargano back? Hopefully. Will he bring some of his other guys back? Hopefully. Because if they were stars, they are stars. Suck it, Tito.
Wow.
Again,
Well
he
said,
might
Josh.
he might not be able to bring anybody back, though. You know what I mean? Just because he
Yeah.
says he wants them doesn't mean that people above him are going to sign that check. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you got to take
That's
that
what-
into consideration, too.
We got to see how this all plays out. All right, over to you, Aaron. And I know some super chats came in, so have at it.
All right. Well, Mr. Tito said, I think Tito might be lobbying for a job with WWE, maybe. He says,
Always has.
Triple H was talent relations for 2012 to early 2020, creative lead from 2013 to 2019. WWE did nothing but decline during these periods. Facts. You disagree, Josh?
Tito.
Well, what just that? Show me some numbers. Show me some numbers.
Listen. Tito's rule of thumb on decline is cable TV TV ratings, because the ratings aren't anywhere where they used to be. But the business model of WWE, streaming worldwide, globally, sucking money out of Saudi Arabia, TV network. You know what I mean? It's different. So that's why their creative is shitty, because they're getting money because by not having to be stupendous, right? Vince McMahon word. So that's why he says decline, and he always is talking about TV ratings.
And the
Right.
TV
They
ratings
have.
don't matter with
Domestically, they have, but people do and again, so I'm not denying that. There's no 3-4 million people watching on cable or even network TV anymore.
No.
But they watch it differently. They catch clips on the internet. It's just a different. It's different.
I'll back him on that.
But WWE
because-
sucks. WWE does suck creatively in general. I'm not denying that.
Right.
There's a few gems here and there, but it's a lot of boring contract signings, the same old laziness. So it's everybody's
People come
kind of
out
right
taking
here.
turns with the microphone.
Yeah, everybody has Tito's right. He's not wrong, but what we say is right as well. Colin?
Real quick, Curtis Butler, he's retired from in-ring competition if you're talking about Triple H because of his heart condition, but not from behind the scenes role.
Right.
But yeah, with the TV ratings, real quick, as someone who works second shift mostly, I can't catch Raw and SmackDown live. I have to DVR it, and I mostly just watch clips or catch the review to get caught up anymore, because it's out there and the product's kind of stale. But you can't just go by TV ratings, because there is a whole section of people like myself that work that second shift that can't catch it. Or if Jeff, you're on the West Coast, so does Raw starts at 5, right?
Yes.
So if you're a normal person or have that 9 to 5 job, you're just getting off work. You're not getting home till 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then you got to get your kids dinner, and then do this, do that, do this, do that. It's got to be hard to catch a live.
And I don't know how it's affected, because there's not one TV in this house that's actually a cable fed.
Yeah, I'm all YouTube TV.
All over. I watch Raw on Raw and NXT on my Fire Stick, because that's the only way I can watch it on East Coast time. So same with Not Rampage, Impact. I watch those on the Fire Stick because I can't watch them on the East Coast feed. AEW I can because they broadcast on the East Coast time. Yes, Aaron.
All right. Well, I guess I will give my thoughts. I do want to respond to a few comments in the chat room, so I'll go ahead and do this now. First of all, Nick Lavin sent in $7. Funny, no empty seats at a black and gold NXT event. Nick, I appreciate the super chat, but that is incorrect. I went to a few takeovers, and they were not sold out by any means.
No.
And here's the thing about NXT when it was run by Triple H. It was catered to a niche audience, in my opinion. And I think that's why they struggled a bit to sell tickets to events. And when they went head-to-head with AEW, they were losing. And I think symbolically, Vince did not like that. And that's what led to the changes with NXT, the 2.0 rebranding, and they decided to go in a different direction with it. The problem is that the 2.0 rebranding, we haven't really seen the results of that long term. Like Braun Breaker hasn't gone to the main roster yet, and these new people that have been pushed in 2.0, they're still there in 2.0. We haven't really seen any major call-ups from the 2.0 crew. So the jury is still out, I think, on 2.0. The numbers, they've been pretty much the same as they were when NXT was still the black and gold brand. Now, to answer the main question here with Triple H, is he going to gain more power? I could see him getting back into the thick of things more and having more of an influence, but I don't really see NXT going back to the way it was. Maybe gradually they'll make tweaks to it, but I think the black and gold NXT that we all knew from that period as the third brand, I think that's done. I don't think we're going to see that again. And at the end of the day, whatever Triple H's influence is, it's not going to matter if it's how it was before. They did a great job with Karrion Kross, went to the main roster, he fizzled out. That is not Triple H's fault whatsoever. He did a lot of great stuff with some of those guys in NXT and gals, and then they went to the main roster and they fizzled out. That is not on Triple H. You cannot blame him for that. Ultimately, the captain of the ship is the one to blame for that. And the new crop of guys, if that's Vince and Bruce Pritchard's choices, we'll see. I mean, Joe Gacy's not cutting it for me. A lot of these guys are not cutting it for me in NXT. Braun Breaker could very well be a big deal, but I believe they signed him before Triple H lost his power. And the other guys were signed, like the Creed brothers were there when it was still the black and gold period. So, yeah, we got to see how things play out with it. Everything with Triple H, with Vince, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. But as long as Vince is running creative, nothing is going to change. It doesn't matter how much influence Triple H has. As long as Vince is running it, it's going to be more of the same stuff.
Yep.
So now let's get to a few of these super chats. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, does Triple H still want NXT to be the third brand? That we don't know, and we'll have to see what happens with that.
I don't think he ever really did, Aaron. I think he went along with them being elevated and being pushed to that third brand because it's what the old man wanted. I think he was perfectly content to staying in his little cocoon there at the PC and just having the time of his life booking these guys the way he was booking them.
Yeah, and I think that the idea was to make NXT different from Raw and SmackDown and kind of make NXT competition to Raw and SmackDown.
Well, because the only way they ever got any really competition from anybody in the last 40 years is they weren't better than them. They were just different than. Bischoff said that in his freaking his book. You have to be different than to compete. NXT was a very different product than the overall main roster presentation, and it worked.
Right, but the problem is that AEW came along and suddenly NXT could no longer serve that purpose of being the alternative to Raw and SmackDown because AEW was doing that.
The problem with that argument is that NXT felt compelled to, or WWE felt compelled to elevate NXT to television and compete with them, and they got spanked. So
That's
they
very true.
the Tuesdays instead, which if they'd have kept it developmental only on Peacock, Network, whatever, I think it would have been okay. I really do.
You might be correct on that, Jeff. I mean, yeah, they definitely
Sure, but
tried to go head-to-head with AEW, although their argument was that they were on that Thursday night spot anyways, and the USA thing was going to happen regardless of AEW. But yeah,
I think
didn't work.
they could have been just fine staying on Peacock or the Wednesday night, not actually directly competed with at AEW on television. That's a Vince and corporate cop out. Oh, we tried, and we were here first. Like, okay, dude, so move somewhere else. Don't be a baby about it.
Right.
Can
I mean,
anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, because my like screen completely went black.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, your screen itself is frozen. We can hear you though.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know.
We can hear you. You got a still
Okay.
picture, but we can hear you.
Okay.
So you'll be able to do your plugs. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me get to these other super chats, and then we'll start wrapping this up. Oh, we just lost Colin.
Come back. He's probably rebooting so he gets the feedback.
All right, so Seth Wallins sent in a $2 super chat. Says WWE screwed WWE. They've ruined plenty of talent.
Absolutely, they have. Can't argue with it. But again, like Virtue's pointed out, like I've co-signed with, as long as that revenue's coming in, they're not going to give a shit.
Right, and the thing is, like, they give up on people so quickly, and we can talk about this for hours.
Yeah,
there's so many guys that were brought to the main roster and then they quickly fizzled out. Imagine if Steve Austin came in as the ringmaster and 3 months in they're like, you know what, this isn't working, and then they
it's not 96 98 where they have the opportunity to cultivate people and actually be patient because they feel like they have to keep their domination up, where they really don't, because they're the number one company in the world. They don't have to worry about it.
Right. And imagine, Rocky Maivia coming in, he's getting booed, and they're like, well, nobody likes this guy, so let's get rid of him.
It took them 9 months to turn him from Rocky Maivia to The Rock. Can you imagine if they'd given up that quick? And like you said, Steve Austin wasn't Stone Cold until the lead into WrestleMania after debuting at Christmas. So
Yeah.
Patience is virtue. They just don't have it anymore.
I mean, they gave up on Parker Bordeaux.
The fans pigeonholed him early. To be remotely fair to the company, he looks like Brock Lesnar. So the perception is a mucker fucker, man. So
Yeah, but that gimmick they gave him did not do him any favors.
No, they shaved his head and they put him with Joe Gacy, so he was pretty much doomed to fail.
Yeah, that was just stupid, and that was just terrible. I mean, a buddy of mine from college was his best friend growing up. So yeah.
The fan lead in doomed him from start. Putting him with Joe Gacy just freaking drove that huge nail right through that coffin.
Right. All right. Nathan Banks sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Nathan. Appreciate it. Says, I know this isn't about the main topic, but I want to give a shout out to my Golden State Warriors for winning the championships. Carry on.
They beat the Boston Celtics, so I will cheers to that. Absolutely.
Is this basketball?
Yeah. Warriors suck.
I'm not a basketball fan, but I hate freaking Boston sports. So I don't like the Warriors, but I hate Boston sports, so that's fine.
I'm a Cavs guy, so of course I hate
Wait,
Warriors.
Josh, Warriors suck. But they won 4 titles in 8 years. You just don't like them.
How do they suck?
We lost a couple of times to them in the championship games. The Cavs did, so that's
Can't
on
lose
my
it.
beat against Warriors.
Whoa. Okay, we've lost Colin for the night, clearly. The Cavs have been a mixed bag with or without LeBron, so I'm not surprised they've kind of had a tough time with the Warriors. Anyway.
Wait, Aaron's getting confused. No sports here.
Yeah. Aaron's like, what's happening? So, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, Aaron, we need more super chats.
Well, just this comment. I think Jeff wanted me to put this up here.
Right.
Jeff, if you want the mask off, then drive a Brinks truck to his house and it will come off. What do you have to say about that, doofus?
Okay, so a Brinks truck. How much do you want in the Brinks truck? Because you didn't specify. I get a Brinks truck right now. and get to your house, dumbass. But if you want actually money in it, then we have to have a negotiation. I can have a Brinks truck driven to your house in 10 minutes if you just tell me where you are. And seriously, DM Aaron where your address is, because I know you don't trust the rest of us. I don't blame you. But yeah, DM Aaron. We'll talk about it.
All right. So Colin's back. I guess we're ready for plugs.
All right. So we'll go around. Another great edition of the NoDQ review. We'll go around, do our plugs, see if we can get out of here. Colin, I'll start with you just in case we have technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Some stupid Adobe thing popped up like 10 minutes into our video, and then next thing you know, fucking turd burglar. You know what I mean? So, all right. Yeah, if you want to follow me, my handle is literally right there at NoDQ. Colin Andrew takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ.com/Colin takes you to my Twitter page. The Cleaver Colin Andrew is my YouTube page and my Instagram page. You got me on Facebook or my regular family personal Instagram. That's not going to happen. Okay. But it's been fun being back. Sorry about the technical difficulties again. I know I said this last time when I was on episode 171. I'll see you guys in like 6 months because I work Thursday nights. Today just happened to, I've had a migraine from hell since like yesterday, and I took like a half day. So that's why I'm here. But good discussion, good chat. We're close to 200, baby. We're so close. And if it keeps going on this schedule, August 11th, I think if I did the math right, would be episode 200. That's the day after my birthday. Just saying, but yeah. Thanks again, everyone, for being here and having me back. I appreciate it. So follow me. We'll chat. We'll argue. We'll talk food. Whatever.
Colin, if we lose you again for technology or whatever, I just want to throw this. This was actually brought home from my uncle's memorial earlier this year. You can't really read what it says, but we've both had major drama with the big C this year. So I want to just throw that up there.
Appreciate that.
And my uncle.
I'll do one real quick.
Yeah, seriously.
There you go, Jeff. Drink and do your plugs.
There are very few things I don't really bitch about a whole lot, but the cancer's a mucker father, dude. So cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
Okay, Jeff, there you go. Your turn.
Jesus Christ. All right, so other than the usual shenanigans on the Jeff Meacher Network, tomorrow night after Rampage, and I say that because I know Aaron was not covering Rampage tomorrow on his recap because it's not live, you can check out Open Mic Night, a special edition Open Mic Night, where myself, Noah Simple Man, our buddy James Hebert, and the Renegade J.J. Williams will be booking our own fantasy version of Forbidden Door, and not just AEW and New Japan, but also including the Impact rosters and the WWE rosters. So we each got basically, actually there's 10 matches on the card now for Sunday. JJ gave us criteria, 10 matches. You have to, pick anybody from those 4 rosters, give us your best true Forbidden Door. Because I know a lot of you guys in here said that you didn't care about the show. The fact of the matter is, a lot of the AEW roster is also New Japan talent. So it doesn't feel like a Forbidden Door is being opened in Chicago. So throw the WWE guys in there, throw the Impact guys in there, boom, book 10 matches. That's what we're doing tomorrow night live after Rampage goes off the air on the East Coast.
All right, thanks for being on, Jeff. And over to Josh Mansfield over there in his dungeon.
Yes, down here from the basement. Follow me on Twitter at CatholicJosh122. I'm on Facebook. I write for NoDQ. Gonna hopefully be getting an article out sometime this weekend. Just great being back with you amazing guys. So just follow me on Twitter for all my wrestling takes and everything, and you'll find me. That's where you'll find me on social media.
All right. Good having you on. And, of course, over to Aaron, and I saw a couple more Super Chats come in, of course.
After dark, why not?
Psycho Jet Black sent in $2. He says, Vince and Johnny's favorite match is a 2-on-1 handicap.
This will be the last one, dude. I need to eat dinner now. I'm going to get sick.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
And Walter Cruz sent in a $2 Super Chat, says, WWE dooms people just by changing their names only.
Yes and no, because I think Kaylee Ray's recent change to was it Alba Fire. I think she's going to do very well if she keeps.
I
doing
dig the Alba
way
Fire
she's
game.
going. So I will agree to disagree. My good man.
Yeah. Yep. I think the Alba Fire gimmick's a good reset as long as they let it play out for her, Colin.
And we got to see how Gunther plays out.
Yeah, that was literally the next thing I was going to say. We see what's happening with him right now. So.
Yep.
Apparently, I missed a super chat about football, and I can't find it now.
Oh,
Not
so
a surprise.
Jaguars and the Browns. Who's the better team?
Oh, the
I'm gonna have to
Browns.
go with the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland's been in contention for at least the last couple seasons. The Jaguars have been best known for the fact that they're freaking, the son of their CEO has been having an AEW freaking binder on the sidelines. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Football's
Browns every day. Even though we've had our current issues with our current quarterback, I think it'll be interesting this coming
That's
season.
all right, Josh. 20 of those cases, those civil cases, were settled. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, so
Josh,
And
That
it
narrows
looks
it
like
down
we're
a bit.
trading Baker to either Seattle or Carolina. So
Josh, two things. Number one, any given Sunday. Number two, like Tyler always says, it didn't start till August. Let it play out, brother.
and number 3, Cowboys ain't them boys.
No, the Briscoes are dead
Number
boys.
4, Aaron's like,
Working.
moving on.
Yep. Aaron's like,
I'm ready for
All right,
bed.
what's going on?
Are we caught up? So am I. Are we caught up?
Yeah, so
Getting
yeah,
hungry.
just stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I'll be doing coverage of Forbidden Door this weekend, and I'll have a live stream afterwards. If you're not going to watch the show, which seems like a decent amount of people, you can tune in and hear my thoughts on it and watch the Jeff Meacham watch along.
Yep. Noah Foster and James Hebert on the call. It's going to be a good Sunday. I mean, like I said, the matches themselves will be good. They'll get the Meltzer pops because that's what they're designed to do in AEW New Japan. But I'm going to have fun covered at the very least.
Oh, and This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Johnny Curtis could have been WWE champion.
I think Fandango could have been. I don't know about Johnny Curtis.
I think that's a bit of a reach to This Guy Experience.
I think what he meant was Johnny Curtis could have been Intercontinental Champion.
There you go.
It would have been the 24/7.
Fandango, yeah. There you
In
go.
car, Johnny Curtis.
Or United States Champion.
All right, so I think we're caught up, right, Aaron?
Yes, we are caught up.
Make sure you go to nodq.com/merch and look for those great shirts that are out there. Some are still floating over on Pro Wrestling Tees if you search NoDQ. Check me out at NoDQ_virtue if you dare, but that's all I got. All I know is we're ticking and talking all the way to episode 200 where you, the NoDQ Galaxy, will be the moderator via Super Chat the entire show. And that's coming up sooner than we think. But that's all I have. That's all we have for this week's edition of the NoDQ Review number 193. For Aaron Rift, for Jeff Meacham, for Josh Mansfield, and for Colin Andrew, I am Virtue. Good night, everybody, and we will see you again next week.
Hasta la vista.